Yo, chat. So I came across this little video earlier. It's from. Oh,
Imagine
hold on. It's from Trentopia. If you see, bro, he's opening channel too. He has good views. But and honestly, bro, the quality of the video is kind of crazy. You see, I hit him up asking if I could stream to it live. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Mastermind behind FaZe, story of Banks. Let's get it, bro.
a life of drugs, addiction, and endless scandals. Your company is in shambles. Then you lose the most important person in your life.
And around that time, I lost my pops, my dad, Big Rich, shout out Mingya. And this FaZe shit was his favorite shit ever, bro. Like, this motherfucker would talk about this shit endlessly.
Damn,
This
bro.
is the story of the mastermind behind the world's most popular gaming empire, the story of FaZe Banks. It's 2017. Richard Bankston, or as you know him,
Bro, that's looking
FaZe Banks,
crazy
has
last name.
just moved to Los Angeles, California. He's part of an
What the-
international
Does
gaming
that say
group
Angeles?
known as FaZe Clan. California. He's part of an
That's right.
international gaming group known as FaZe Clan. His social accounts are blowing up, and he feels unstoppable. In LA, he launches an entertainment group outside of the FaZe brand, known as Clout Gang. Key members of the group consisted of fast-rising content creators, such as Rice Gum, a YouTuber known for diss tracks, Alyssa Violet, a former Vine star turned YouTuber, Summer Rae, an Instagram model, Wolfie, a rapper and YouTuber, and finally, FaZe Banks himself. This house of villains pumped out content and were extremely influential around this time. They made their mark by starting online feuds with other large content creators and constantly surrounding themselves with controversy. Other than that, the Clout Gang brand was made up entirely of flashy lifestyle content. They drove expensive cars, partied, and built party personas to draw in millions of fans. Banks was no exception. His own account blew up on YouTube, going from 1 million to 4 million subscribers. Sadly, the fame
Bro, that's looking crazy ass growth for such little time. But bro, this was like peak YouTube, bro. That was such a good time for YouTube.
and money drew him down a path of addiction. Over the course of only a few years, his online personality took over, and his ordinary life as Richard Bankston faded away. During this time, he also went through a number of massive
Oh, there's a little bro.
What's up,
It's
chat?
good. How was
we doing?
practice?
How we doing? It was good.
Alright, bro. And get on the Discord. Alright, guys, straight to the video again.
controversies.
Bro, are we dead ass? Bro, I gotta get premium soon, bro.
He was accused of hitting Jake Paul's assistant, Meg McPherson,
What the
leaving her
fuck?
covered in bruises. He was charged with a felony for destroying a Las Vegas hotel room. Not only that, his business ventures were
Wait, hold
falling
on. Did he say he caught a felony for destroying the hotel room?
felony for destroying leaving her covered in bruises. He was charged with a felony for destroying a Las Vegas hotel room.
What the fuck? I don't even could get charged for destroying a hotel room. That's insane. I didn't even know this was a thing, bro. Way back.
Not only that, his business ventures were falling apart. Over time,
Duh, I didn't
members
even
of
know,
the
bro.
Clout House began leaving to focus on solo careers. Members of the group were growing tired of the constant beefs. To top it off, the rise of TikTok and new content houses began making Clout House less relevant online. Banks has admitted it was an embarrassing and difficult time. He was worried about disappointing his father, one of the few people who supported him through everything. We're going to be covering all of this in detail, but before we do, it's important to return to Banks' upbringing so you understand how he became the man he is today. Richard Ricky Bankston was born on October 18, 1991, in Massachusetts.
Damn.
As a kid and teen, he wasn't drawn to video games like many of the up-and-coming gamers we see today. Overall, Banks has described himself through the high school years as being a typical teen who was somewhat of a troublemaker. In fact, he really only played sports and only ever played video games if it was with friends. Once Banks got into playing the original Halo game on Xbox, he began to see the potential of gaming. Most of his interest was in Xbox Live. Getting to talk with people from around the country online of all different age groups was fun for Banks and got him playing more games.
The second I put the mic on, I could talk shit to people, and like, I don't know, there's fucking 25 real humans in the lobby and they're talking shit to me and I'm talking shit to that. For me, I was like, that was it for me.
In 2010, he graduated high school and about
Bro, 2010. Bro, I was barely 4 years old, bro. I don't know Bangs was this old, bruh. I don't know Bangs was this old, bro. That's crazy.
a year later, he dived into the world of gaming. It all started with Call of Duty. When Banks got into the game, he became a skilled player pretty quickly. He was mostly known for being a trick shotter and was welcomed into the SOAR gaming clan with open arms. At the time, SOAR was a competitor of the FaZe Clan. In 2011, Banks launched a YouTube channel. He started racking up early wins with short 30 to 60 second clips of trick shots or insane kills. He wasn't huge yet, but definitely building popularity quickly. By then, Banks was
Bro, but I feel like those kind of views back then was crazy, bro. 13 years ago. I don't know, man. That's good.
starting to make a bit of money off YouTube. He was building an audience and becoming popular amongst gamers. While things were going well, he knew that he would need to do a lot more if he wanted to build the Banks name into a full-fledged brand. He realized he wasn't going to be able to compete against some other hardcore gamers at that time who were already playing in tournaments. He was a skilled sniper in Call of Duty, but understood his strengths weren't in gaming alone. His strongest skills were in leadership. He had excelled within the SOAR gaming group and was popular for his ability to help mentor others in the clan and bring people together.
I don't know. I'm one of those people who, like, I'm attracted to and drawn to people when they're like at their worst for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, I want to reach out to people when they're doing bad and let them know, like, yo, I have some advice for you, or I have this for. I find myself reaching out to people when their backs are against the wall for whatever fucking reason.
Banks' ability to assess his skill.
W Bangs, bro. A lot of people don't have like a person to be there for them in rough times. So, honestly, that's huge. That's so humble for him, bro.
And lean into what made him strong is part of what made him into the mastermind we know today. This requires humility and was an important step in his journey. While he was doing well in SOAR and building a strong audience, Banks saw FaZe Clan as a group that had a brighter future. While still somewhat unheard of in the gaming community, FaZe was quickly growing and was the group he knew he couldn't miss being a part of. In March of 2013, Banks made the difficult decision to leave SOAR and join their rivals, FaZe. He officially became
rivals, but I thought SOAR was like the G League of FaZe at the time. Like I thought a lot of the like trick shotters from SOAR were drafted from SOAR and then put on FaZe. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
FaZe Banks. This was a huge moment for Banks and FaZe Clan as a whole. He was already becoming an extremely popular gamer, and teaming up was a major win for FaZe Clan, Banks, and fans alike. Around the same time, Banks slowly began shifting away from gameplay videos into new types of content. By 2015, he was making personality-based videos and vlogs. He focused less on gaming and more on human connections and storytelling. He answered questions from fans and approached everything he did with as much rawness and honesty as he could. Unlike many YouTubers at this time, his videos felt more down to earth. He didn't have loud, explosive intros or anything like that. He seemed like an everyday guy and spoke to his audience directly. It made him personable and helped shape his channel into more of a community. This was a major foundation to his success down the road. He took that same approach and mindset to the FaZe Clan as a whole. By joining the group, Banks began guiding their overall content strategy. He knew that in order for them to survive and become a larger brand name, they would need to start looking past the gaming content. While it would remain a core to who they were as a brand and who their viewers were, he wanted everyone to start thinking of other types of content they could create. He wanted them to be known as a lifestyle group as much as a gaming group. Ironically, it was his down-to-earth persona and ideas that helped FaZe Clan explode in popularity.
Hey, what's What's up, guys? I found this beer left over from some
bro.
campers and I'm totally wasted.
Have you guys seen this vlogging Yeti online?
That's not even Yeti, bro. That's Bigfoot.
The money he earned through FaZe, YouTube, and other collaborations was growing quickly. It started to change who FaZe Banks was entirely. Flash forward back to where we started in 2017.
Bro, seeing Banks with no tattoo is so weird.
That regular nerdy kid from Florida had all but disappeared.
Bigfoot
At this
mainstream.
point,
Bro,
FaZe
have
Banks
you seen
had
the freaking
tons of
vlogs, bro?
fame
They
and
go
money,
crazy
but
on
was
TikTok.
slowly developing some serious addictions. Little did he know, he was staring down the barrel of some serious controversies, the likes of which would result in a devastating loss. Instead of letting these hard lessons take him down, he embraced them and learned from
I
them.
am music.
Let's get into what
Bro's
happened,
not Cardi.
and later, what he did to keep moving forward. In 2017, Banks found himself under the
got 2 new
microscope from
followers?
authorities and news outlets after allegations came out that he had assaulted a woman in an LA nightclub. That woman was none other than Jake Paul's assistant, Meg McPherson. In a video released to YouTube, Meg said that while trying to leave the nightclub, Banks held out his arm and essentially hit her in the neck. In the video,
Bro, what the fuck? That's wild. I didn't even know that happened.
she shows off some of the
Rust
bruises that
screw?
accrued from
What
the
is that?
assault and battery. She also told viewers that she had filed a report with the Los Angeles Police Department and was going to let them handle the situation moving forward. The video was quickly deleted by Jake Paul, but the news was already going viral. FaZe Banks was reportedly shocked by the allegations. He was quick to turn his
Screw?
audiences to try and get control of the story.
Screw? The fuck is this cruel, bro? You mean squirrel? Ahora día, vato. Bro, squirrel?
He decided to create a response video, which he also posted on YouTube. In his response, he said the entire story was made up. He also threatened legal action.
Okay, so it was made up, bro. I didn't even know that happened. I was pretty tapped in on YouTube back then.
I first want to come out and
Motherfucker
say
dumb as
99% of what this kid said in his video was absolutely fabricated and not true. I am going to be 150% honest about everything and every detail about this night from my point of view. Because at this point, it has gotten to where this needs to be pursued legally. Defamation of character and slander to the highest degree. And
Banks responded with his own version of the story,
Bro
in
was
which he
crashing out,
explained that it was
rightfully
all
so.
an accident. He also showed a message from someone close to Meg, who claimed she admitted that it wasn't on purpose. Fans online were torn between who to believe. Many felt like Paul may have drummed up the story for the sake of views. Others also pointed out that Jake Paul only seemed to start coming after Banks because he had started dating Paul's ex. Around 2017, FaZe Banks began dating social media influencer Alyssa Violet. The social media influencer had only recently broken off a years-long relationship with YouTuber Jake Paul. Banks and Violet received a lot of attention for the relationship throughout the esports community and between fans of Paul and Banks. However, they also got a lot of negative attention and drama by being together. Paul was not happy with the breakup with Violet. They both came from Ohio, moved to LA together, and grew their platforms together. Banks already started becoming a rival to Paul. At the same time, Banks and Violet were quickly becoming one of the most talked about romances in the influencer community. After about 2 years, the couple broke up after Violet caught Banks cheating with another girl. Violet has said that a group of friends came back to their house one night to continue partying. She fell asleep early, and when she woke up and noticed Banks was nowhere to be found, despite all of their friends having already left. When she went to the guest wing of the house, she opened a door and found Banks with one of their friends.
Bro, Banks is wild for that, bro. That's crazy.
Relationship quickly ended on July 5th, 2019. Nowadays, both of them have said they have moved on from the incident and expressed support for one another. The breakup was a rough moment for Banks, who was quickly spiraling into addiction and some mental health issues. At this point, controversies were building, but there was one other massive controversy right before this breakup that didn't just have an impact on Banks' personal life, but his business dealings as well. Of course, we're talking about the Tfue contract drama. In May of 2019, the Fortnite player Turner Kennedy, otherwise known as Tfue, filed a lawsuit against FaZe Clan. He claimed they limited his ability to pursue his profession in violation of California law. Tfue went on to allege that the FaZe team had signed him into a, quote, grossly oppressive contract that allowed them to take up to 80% of all the brand deals that he managed to get.
Bro, I remember this freaking controversy, bro, but I never really understood it. Like, I understood that the contract was fucked up, but like, if it was that fucked up, like, why'd you sign in the first place? You know what I mean?
FaZe did actually admit that was true, but argued there were other parts of the contract that weren't that bad for Tfue.
So why should
Tfue received $2,000 in monthly compensation and was entitled to 80% of his prize money, 50% of in-game merchandise, 50% of brand deals negotiated by Tfue, 20% of those deals negotiated by the company, 50% of touring and appearance fees, and 20% of Tfue-themed team merchandise revenues. This whole contract was signed on April 27, 2018. It lasted for 6 months before an...
Bro, you see, like, that contract just, bro, it just looks ass from the start, from the get-go. Shout out Tfue, shout out Tfue. Tfue better than Ninja. True, bro. Tfue was a monster, bro.
Automatic extension clause kicked in that added 3 more years to Tfue's deal. If you can't already tell, he had locked himself into a bad deal, but FaZe argued he signed up for it, and what's done is done. In response to the lawsuit, Banks tweeted that FaZe had only collected 20% of Tfue's deals for a total of $60,000 out of $300,000 that he had made so far. FaZe as a company also responded soon after, saying they hadn't collected any tournament winnings or revenue from other platforms. Not only that, but Banks soon offered Tfue newer contract terms. He said on Twitter that, quote,
that TSM
"This
house was
is so
crazy.
see-through. Listen, obviously Turner's initial contract was horrible. Nobody ever disagreed with that. But over the last year, we have offered him so many new ones, solutions, 0% splits, honest and more than fair ways to solve the issue. And again, this was never about money. We never expected this to happen, and over the last year have only collected $60,000 from $300,000 in brand deals we brought him. 20%, that's the absolute total. This wasn't about money, ever, or an unfair contract."
Bro, now, like, actually reading through it, because, bro, when this happened with 2019, I was like, what, like 13 years old? I had no clue what at all meant. But, I mean, yeah, the contract looks dog shit. But, I mean, you got Banks saying this stuff, like, what actually happened, you know what I mean?
As FaZe started saddling up for a legal dispute, they publicly released all of the other team members' non-executed contracts. People online went absolutely nuts to see the terms of these deals. This entire thing launched an expensive 15-month battle in California courts to resolve the issues. Finally, Tfue and FaZe reached a settlement and resolved their litigation. The terms to that settlement haven't been made publicly available. Regardless, this entire fiasco caused major issues for FaZe Banks and set the FaZe business behind as a whole. Over the next few years, FaZe Clan saw major declines and changed ownership a number of times. For some background context, in the beginning, FaZe as a business had been riding high for a few years. Massive celebrity endorsements and investments set them up as a publicly traded company.
Bro, when they signed all the rappers like Snoop Dogg, Lil Yachty, or when they signed Bronny, bro, FaZe was popping up, bro, like the Fortnite era. But I feel like ever since the Tfue like situation happened, it just went downhill, bro. But yeah, they even went on the stock market. That's crazy, bro. For a gaming organization, I feel like that's insane.
However, after the
FaZe up
drama
for
with
real.
Tfue's contract, those corporate entities had pretty much taken complete control of FaZe Clan, and Banks had almost no say over the direction of the company. Over the period of a few
FaZe,
months,
bro.
the stock price for the company dropped to
Yeah, bro. The 2019, 2023, bro, FaZe was not it.
$0. It was worth nothing. Banks and other creators who built FaZe were left holding an empty bag, but Banks' life was about to get even worse. In the spring of 2023, with the company in shambles, FaZe Banks received life-changing news and hit his absolute rock bottom.
What you been working on, bro? Hadn't seen you forever.
Just got back from Boston. My dad just passed away.
Oh man, I'm so
What?
Just basically just landed.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Are you doing okay?
Been better, brother.
Been better.
He found out
Bro, that's so tragic, bro. I wouldn't know if my dad passed away, bro. That's so tragic, bro. Yeah, shout out Bing's dad. FaZe up 24. Yeah, true, bro. FaZe is going crazy now. Man, rest in peace, bro. That's so sad, bro.
his dad had passed away. Banks has
Are you
Here
a
we go,
Roblox
another ad.
fanatic?
Bro, I promise you guys,
Microsoft
next
Rewards is a
reaction,
brand
I'm
new
gonna have
way
I'm
for
gonna have
you
premium.
to
I'm gonna
earn
add.
digital
spoken extensively about his father over the years. He said that the man was his biggest supporter and his hero.
Bro, sorry,
He
I
helped him
will.
through all the highs and lows and was a massive fan of everything Banks did. This loss devastated
Bro,
him.
it's not really
He
Milligan,
knew
for
at this
real.
moment that something
Yeah, I
had
think
to
he came out
change.
the right.
For
or
one,
not.
he continued
Bro,
focusing on
bold,
his
bro.
health and stayed sober, which he had just started in recent months. He also began forming a new plan to take control of FaZe and to lead the company in a new direction for a more modern fan base. Like any mastermind, Banks used this low moment as an opportunity to humble himself and start rebuilding something far greater. That leads us into the most recent chapter of Banks' life. This is how he rebuilt FaZe from the ground up. Banks knew everything would need to change.
Here we go. This is the comeback, bro. Crazy.
He'd need to take control over the company and make some very unpopular decisions. It was time for a reboot, and not everyone was going to make it on the new roster. In May of 2024, FaZe Clan's parent company, GameSquare, announced the formation of a brand new company known as FaZe Media. This company would be led by none other than Richard FaZe Banks Bankston. The literal rebooted company would be an internet media company with a focus on esports. Banks knew that focusing everything into what made them originally popular was the key to success. As any great mastermind knows, you can't miss the forest for the trees. Focus on what actually works and trim off the fat. Too many corporate hands had been in the pie and had pulled the company into a billion different directions. Banks wanted to simplify and focus on what actually mattered, entertaining fans. FaZe Media would
Hold up. What cycle should I run around 16? Bro, look, I haven't played Clash in a while, but Loki just run 2.6 Hog Rider, bro. It's the best deck ever.
be a creator-led company, which was a huge win for Banks. Then he quickly scored another big victory. On June 19th, 2024, Banks acquired 25.5% in FaZe Media from GameSquare. This is a major stake in the group and would mean he was less likely to lose control of the company again. With all that underway, Banks was making public moves, which didn't exactly win over all fans at first. Banks knew that in order to drive the group towards a more modern lifestyle and gaming brand, he'd need to recruit new talent and kick out members who no longer align themselves with his vision. It all started with this infamous reboost post. Soon after, there was backlash from a number of
Bro, this when this happened, it was like I think it was like when after Rage announced he was joining FaZe, which Rage is my favorite streamer of all time, so I was so hyped. But then once they hit the reset button and they announced all the people they kicked out, bro, everyone was going crazy, everyone was hating. Like there was some crazy like some people they kicked out, like Tico, for example. Like literally one of the first people in FaZe, literally one of the founders on the first house too, and just out like that. It was crazy, bro. Shout out Zizzer, bro. Yeah, and they kicked out Zizzer too, bro. Shout out him.
former members, including streamer Kaylee, who said she was dropped without earning any money,
Respectfully, no clue who that is.
despite her passion and support for the team. Another longtime member, Big Puffer, called the move disgraceful after 11 years with FaZe. Other members
That's kind of what everyone was saying too.
to get kicked from the team included Blaze, Scissors, Agony, Blue, and more.
Yeah, bro, like Blaze too, like Scissors, like you said. It's crazy. Bro doesn't know about. Bro, I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Banks then followed up by saying, quote, Adapt, Apex, Banks, Jev, Kason, Nick Merckx, Replays, Ronaldo, Rug, Scope, Swag, Temper, Your Rage, Zuma.
Bro, that's still an elite roster, bro. That's elite roster. Shout out Dad, bro. Shout out Unc.
Everyone else is out, he wrote. That is the roster. High-profile figures like Bronny James and rappers Offset and Lil Yachty were not mentioned, leaving their status unclear. While the shakeup was a huge controversy, Banks continued to trust his instinct.
Is Rain temper? Yeah. No. No, Rain is not temper. Rain is not temper, bro. Come on now.
Like a true mastermind. He knew that it might not be the most popular decision at first, but was an important part of rebuilding. Sometimes you have to tear things down to rebuild, and that's not to say he didn't have any support at all. Other members of the gaming community supported the decisions and were looking forward to a new and improved FaZe Clan, since the group had become a soulless brand. Banks himself promised to bring back the OGs like FaZe Temper, FaZe Apex, Rain, and others.
You see? They're different.
He told supporters that he wanted to rebuild based on real connections, gaming, and content that fans actually loved. Since the reorganization of the group, FaZe Clan has exploded.
I mean, yeah, and it ended up working out, bro. Look how crazy FaZe is going right now. Look how big the streamers are. Jason, Lacey, Ron, Silky, Ray just got a surgery. I mean, PBM hasn't been posting, or on stream, but I mean, they're going crazy at the end of the Silky. What you mean, Silky, bro? At the end of the day, it ended up working out, and I mean, as crazy of a move it was, it paid off. I did not say Dilky, I said Silky.
In popularity again. They have turned back to their roots and are making all types of lifestyle and gaming content. It has also become a household name again and a huge part of the streaming community. Banks himself is basically a rebooted version. While he used to chase money in a certain lifestyle, he's reached a point where his focus is on something far more rewarding. Like a true mastermind, he's been able to pivot and learn and grow, no matter what he's gone through. He's 4 years sober and has completely changed his mindset about what's most important to him. Banks has talked extensively about wanting to be a role model for other content creators coming up. Since the passing of his father, he's become far more focused on leaving behind a positive, strong legacy. FaZe socials are continuing to grow, and the opportunities for members seem endless. The mastermind
Bro, get on my dick.
Behind FaZe knew exactly what needed to be done to bring it back, and it seems like there's more on the horizon for the brand. A key to this success is diving into the streaming world. New members of the clan like Lacey have boosted FaZe's reputation in the streaming community by building massive Twitch audiences.
Bro, you're my brother.
That said, things aren't always smooth, but Banks isn't going to let that take down the company again. In May 2025, Banks announced that Lacey was kicked from the FaZe Clan for about a period of 24 hours.
Bro, come on. We all knew this was fake, bro. We all knew Lacey did not get kicked out. He was literally right back the day after.
Lacey confirmed this was true, and they weren't trolling. Not much is publicly known as to why this split happened, but Lacey said he had a disagreement with the group. During a late-night emergency session, Lacey apologized to Banks and the rest of the group, and they were able to resolve the issue. The streamer was then invited back into the group. The whole incident
Cover up for Marlon? I don't know, man. But that was, I mean, it was interesting drama, but I don't know if it was so much of a cover up. Like, I feel like they weren't so much on like top of Marlon's back or Lacey, because Lacey was saying some crazy shit too. I don't know. You could kind of see it was fake.
Scores how seriously Banks has become.
Not the drama, but Lacey getting kicked out.
About protecting the brand and why he's the mastermind behind FaZe. If you want to learn more about the drama with Lacey being kicked from FaZe, be sure to check out our full breakdown of his come up. Until next time.
Bro, what a video, bro. What a video, bro. Trentopia, you know, already subscribed. What a video, bro. You know, up and coming creator too. Crazy quality video, bro. Go watch, go follow, go like. You see, I already liked. Yeah, bro, go show him some love. But yeah, all right, guys, I'm gonna get some water and then we're gonna get on Val. Oh, reactor? What you mean, no reactor, bro? That was Dovey reaction, bro. All right, y'all, I'll be right back.